our young guys.
There we go.
Even the new guys coming in, I mean, because they're playing high-level competition for guys like Kelling and Pierce.
Yep.
That's still just another introduction. Hey, you got to be ready every time you walk on the court, because once you get to January, this is what we get.
Now, is there a chance that we don't meet Gonzaga in the final? Dude?
I mean, there's a chance.
Who's on that side? Okay, basically, of course there's a chance, but I'm saying realistically, the teams that are on that side, because we know who we're playing Bama. We're then facing Michigan or Iowa State.
Right.
Is Gonzaga looking at a slate where it looks like they're going to get there? Because if we could avoid playing them twice in a 22-day span, I think would be it. I think everybody would kind of sign up for that. I mean, maybe I'm the only one.
Yeah, so for Gonzaga's side, they have Southern Miss.
Okay, that's a win. By the way, how is that not – are we considered the 1 seed in this tournament?
There's not seeds in this.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, how is Southern Miss not technically the 1 seed?
You got Seton Hall and Oregon as your as their side. So, and Oregon's probably going to be the pick to win the Pac-12.
Yep.
This was a team that made the Sweet 16 a year ago.
I agree with that. That's not saying much in the Pac-12, though, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that they made the Sweet 16.
You're right.
And a lot of guys come back.
Yeah, they only lose Bowl,
and he wasn't even part of their run.
And that's it. Or did they lose? Oh, what was the kid that went
Pritchard?
nuts?
I think is his last name.
Oh, Peyton Pritchard.
He's gone. Finally.
Oh, he was there from like 1936.
And Seton Hall, last year they beat Kentucky and New York. So they kind of get up for these kind of moments.
They return their top scorer too.
Yeah.
He's back. I'm blanking on his name, but they're going to be good.
Yeah. So, and I'm a really big fan of their coach, Willard.
Kevin Willard. I love Kevin Willard.
Is a really good coach. So
man.
There's enough on that other side because Gonzaga is losing a lot, but they're going to be a preseason top 5, top 10 team. They're going to be a trendy pick to make the Final Four,
right?
Because that's what they are now. But, yeah, I mean, there is a chance that we don't meet Gonzaga, whether it's on our end or on the other end of the bracket where a team can take down Gonzaga.
I like it, though, because we're going to be tested at every level. And, you said it. It's kind of good for these guys to get that type of test early to say, if you slip up, then it can be over that quickly. Because this, honestly, you can say what you want about ACC play. You can even say what you want about conference tournament play. That's probably the closest you come, of course, and that's what you're trying to do with a conference tournament. This is as close as you come in the regular season to the NCAA tournament, where you're playing high-level talent each stop. And if you slip up, your tournament's over.
Yeah, and it's also really a good – we learned a lot, and we always do. But when we haven't been – national championship quality.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tournament where we learn a lot about who we are. Remember last year in Vegas, we had the loss against Texas.
Yep.
And then we had the game against UCLA where we were down double digits and came back.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned very early in the year we're not where we need to be. So that's the good thing is we'll leave Atlantis whether we win the tournament or not, knowing
it's a measuring stick.
Yeah. We this is where we need to improve.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you a chance before you go to Spokane and play. Before
right.
you go back to Vegas to play – who do we play this year in Vegas? I think it's Kentucky.
Right. Ohio State, who we play in the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
No, we play UCLA in Vegas this year. That's right.
Oh, yep, that's right.
We played
UCLA
Kentucky last year. But so we'll leave this – going into that, those 3 games follow that tournament, and in the midst of 3 weeks, we'll play those 3 big games.
Right.
So we'll have a little bit more understanding of where we are, see the maturation of a Cole Anthony, the transfers that have come in, even the young guys. Bacot will be their first chance against dudes, I guess is what you'll say for that.
Yeah, because the early part of the schedule is not. I mean, we don't see anybody that
it's weak as it normally is,
which it makes sense.
Because
you want to get your legs underneath you, get everything going.
Well, because
with
we're not in the Champions Classic. But okay, we start with Notre Dame.
We don't want to be in the Champions. I don't know. It's just. If it's just like I don't want to be in that tournament or whatever they call that. It's not really a tournament. It's just to start against a top 5 opponent for me. I don't like it because I like where you have a chance to get your freshmen comfortable with themselves, gain a little bit of confidence, as we've seen over the past.
We don't get that
years.
anymore.
Yeah, not anymore though. Unfortunately,
Which and I think, and we'll discuss this more as we get closer to that. That is, I think that decision will be changed. I understand the precedent. You're starting a new network. You want to have interest in college basketball all year long.
Right.
It's not the right idea.
Yeah, the quality of the games, I think, will be what will eventually push them
and
back,
also if you're going to do it, you got to
some
make
struggles.
Duke do it too. Like the fact that they're the only team that doesn't play one of those games in November is a joke. And we'll just leave it at that.
What a shock that they're the only ones that don't have to play.
Moving on. This has been out for a while. Just kind of missed it because our last show was loaded with a whole bunch of NBA content.
That's right.
Jersey numbers have been reviewed for the incoming freshmen and transfers.
Yeah.
And here they are. Anthony Harris will wear number 0. Cole Anthony takes on number 2. So it appears that the number 2 is kind of becoming the new point guard number
That's
again.
the new one, yeah.
Joel Berry, of course, wore 2. Kobe White. Now Cole Anthony.
3 straight point guards, yeah.
And, of course, Raymond Felton wore number 2. So that's 4 point guards under Roy Williams that have worn that number.
That's right.
Armando Bacot is wearing number 5. So that number, which who wore 5 last year? Was it Nazir?
Nazir wore 5.
And before him, it was...
Didn't Tony Bradley wear 5?
Tony Bradley wore 5.
TB wore 5, yep.
And before then, it was point guards with Lawson,
Page.
Marshall, Page.
Yep.
So Bacot wearing 5. Jeremiah Francis is wearing 13, which we haven't seen, I think, since J.P. Tokoto.
That's right. Also a legend, 2010 team that you brought up that played in Carmichael, Will Graves.
Yep, Will Graves.
Will Graves, yeah.
Justin Pierce will don number 32.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it's a different
We know
number.
who wore that number last year. Luke May, baby.
Yeah, Luke May.
Alex Stevenson used to wear that number as well. That's another name.
And that was Ed Davis's number when he was on
That's
campus.
right, Ed Davis, yep.
And then Christian Kelling will wear number 55. That's his
Is
number.
that I'm assuming somebody else has worn that, but it's been
There's no
really
notable player that has worn 55.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, that's an interesting one. I saw him go with that number. I was like, okay.
So there you go. No one's changing numbers this year from other previous numbers. So those, and like I said, this has been out a while. Just forgot to throw it in there with the last episode we did with.
And it's significant because there was the little controversy. I think it got blown out of proportion a little bit. That, of course, Cole was wanting to wear 50 because that's the number that his dad wore. And, come on.
It's not happening.
Come on. We got that's Hansborough. Like, there's no way that we were going to have that happen. I think people, there were some people saying, he might not enroll because of that at one time. That was just made up stories from outside fans that were trying to get Tar Heel fans riled up. But no, you're right. It is kind of interesting that all of a sudden that number 2 has become the starting point guard and 0 has become your backup point guard.
Right.
So it's pretty cool that those guys are taking on those roles. Tells us a little something. Maybe that tells us that Anthony Harris has the advantage over Jeremiah Francis.
I guess we'll need to decide when we get into season mode, what are we going to distinguish between Cole Anthony and Anthony Harris? Like, are we just going to call Cole? Like, because Kobe was just effectively became Kobe.
We can call. Yeah, I think he'll become Cole. Also, Anthony Harris can just become Harry.
Stop. Not calling him that.
No, he'll probably just be, I guess, Harris. I don't know.
Hey, it's going to be
can't call him Anthony.
Because you're Anthony.
There we go.
We got too many Anthonys going on when we discussed the Royce Boys podcast.
We have to figure that out. We are going to have our guy Mark from Gastonia come on and give us his nicknames for our players that are coming in. Last year's group of players included Kobe Cheese. Yes, we know.
That was awful.
To be Kobe. Snapchat Johnson, which we just never got what that meant.
I really enjoyed that one, though.
But I think he said, I think he put it this way. His shot's so sweet, dog. You just want to take a Snapchat every time.
I mean, I
think that was it, which is true. I like that one. And then Leaky Drain. Again, not
Yours was pretty bad with the side of leaks thing you would say during games whenever he would do something great and I would freak, which we're going to do that a lot this year because that kid's going to be really good.
Who doesn't like a side of leaks, baby?
But, yeah, I guess when we had
need
him
Leaky
on,
to weigh in on this. Would you like the nickname with that when we're talking about you in retrospect to everybody else?
No.
He
would
does.
Not. I DM'd him.
Have you talked to him?
Yes. Him and I are boys now.
Sure.
Okay. I guess when the season comes around, we'll discuss what we're going to do with the whole Anthony thing.
We'll have a whole hour-long podcast where we debate what we are going to call each of the freshmen. How do we refer to them by name? But no, it's a good point because, like, B-Rob has his nickname, which is B-Rob. But, like, with Luke, we just called him Luke. Like, that was just his name. No one called him May. You know, we just called him by his first name. Now, we call a lot of the other guys by their first name, too. So I think that's probably the way that we'll go. But I don't know. We can't call him Anthony. We'll have to debate that. Anthony Harris, submit your name, what you want to be called. You know?
Or we'll just give you a nickname, and we'll just go with that.
I think not. You know why? I was here first.
So
statistics prove that I was actually part of this part here first. I'm getting phased out.
On to recruiting.
There we go.
4-star wingman Cameron Fletcher has Carolina in his top 5. Pretty significant recruit out there that Roy Williams is trying to get to come play for the Tar Heels.
Definitely.
And so I guess what they're doing is somewhat working if he's in really his final list.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, recruiting never stops as Roy Williams made his first offer in the 2021 class. He offered, I messed this name up, Paulo Banchero, I guess is how we say his name, the number 1 power forward recruit in the 2021 class as of the current rankings.
There you go.
So he made his first offer, and it's no surprise, it's a big man. He has 5 offers in the 2020 class to power forwards and centers. So this just showing the desire to get back to playing inside out.
Right.
As we've discussed heavily since the end of this past season, that's got to get back for us.
I think he may have been talking to Scott Perry, the GM of the New York Knicks.
Yes.
Big men win. Well, I think what it is that he's known over the last 2 seasons that the guys that have been inside have not been his traditional bigs. So he wants to make sure that he will have those guys inside that he needs to have over the next couple of years. I think, he realized what he's been doing is he's been focusing on trying to get shooting because you need that. You do have to have guys that can shoot the ball to win. But you also, in this case for Carolina, don't want to get away from your strength. We heard from Coach Doherty when he sat down with us. Roy's a very traditional guy. He does not like to switch his system. His system will stay the same, and he will beat you. That's his plan. So while he has brought in some of these shooters because there was that stretch where we were really lacking guys that could shoot the ball from the outside, I think that, the big men maybe have slid just a little bit. Now he's going to refocus on that, and, I think it's working out. I mean, you look at, the guys that he's got offered in the 2020 class, all of them are 5 or 4 stars. And then you start out with a guy that I don't think they have them ranked by stars yet in the 2021 class, but the number 1 player in the class going to be a 5-star.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So you're going, he's not looking at it anymore as, okay, we're under an NCAA bubble. Now, we got to kind of look elsewhere. He's going for the big name guys, and he's saying we're going to start winning some battles. Yeah, and I love them. I love the mindset.
He's already locked around Day'Ron Sharp in the 2020 class, who
just keeps getting better.
Yes, I mean this kid. I was doing some research, and he dominated the Adidas Gauntlet. Dominated. I mean, he's the best big man in that class, and he's coming to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
But that's not enough for Roy Williams. He wants more. And I think it's smart because he's up the shooting on the perimeter. So now you can able to put the ball inside. It's going to open up a whole lot of stuff. And kind of be like an 09 where you had quality big men, but you also had quality shooters, and that team scored 100 in their sleep how often?
Well, the other thing I think also is the reason why big men are going to be the focus on the recruiting trail is because